You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
And thank you for watching. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Michael Karvelis for a surprise edition of Mike Said It First. I'm very excited that you are here. I have brought out, dusted off, and squeezed into my old Peyton Manning jersey. We just had to talk about this stuff today. But thank you so much for tuning in. You're tuned in to North American Talk Radio on YouTube and Twitter. So we appreciate you for tuning in. On today's show, I'm going to talk about Trae Young getting traded to the Washington Wizards. I'll talk Indiana football and the historic run that they're on and what I think will happen in the Miami-Indiana National Championship. I'll talk about my Indianapolis Colts, the future that they may or may not have. I'll talk about Daniel Jones' reality, what's going to happen with him going forward. Matt Ryan named Falcons president of football, a Super Bowl prediction, and finally, why I talk the National Lacrosse League. This show is presented by the Event Tickets tab at natalkradio.com. Please head over to North American Talk Radio's website and click that tab. It takes you straight to the Vivid Seats platform. And there you can type in your local or favorite sporting events nearby, like the National Lacrosse League, football, all that good stuff. It's all right there. I told people before, I went to a crappy monster truck thing recently. I didn't realize it was for kids. I saw Monster Trucks Hot Wheels, and part of me was like, oh, that's cool. A little bit of different there. It wasn't Monster Jam. It was Hot Wheels themed thing for like 10-year-olds. I was not happy, but the dirt bikes were cool. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's about it. I got my tickets at natalkradio.com and I clicked the event tickets tab. All right, enough of that. Let's get into this. Trae Young was traded to the Washington Wizards for a bag of chips and a cereal bowl. I mean, that's what it felt like. So, as a person living in Georgia, by the way, the cereal bowl and the bag of chips were obviously C.J. McCollum and Corey Kispert because the contracts align. Wow. Great job, Atlanta. And now, can you just imagine the Mavericks and Hawks fans holding up the gang flag in solidarity because both of their stars from that 2018 draft are now gone. That two very different circumstances. I just thought I'd bring that up. That being said, Trae Young was traded to the Washington Wizards. And I'm going to be honest, folks. It's weird because I think it did not help Trae Young's case that he is a caution cone on defense most of the time. It does not help his case that the team has not been healthy, whether it be Kristaps Porzingis or other people. And it's also maybe not his fault that this season without him, the team has been awesome. Like the Hawks, and by awesome, I don't mean the Hawks are going to win anything of importance. But the Atlanta Hawks currently are 19-21. I would say 75% of those games have been without Trae Young, if not more than that. Okay? I've been paying attention. It's not looked good for him. Okay? So when you have that caveat, it kind of sucks. So he not only wants to be traded now, he specifically asked for the Washington Wizards. And I know a lot of us were thinking, why? Like, that is odd, weirdo. Well, apparently now we know why. And you have to read between the tea leaves here. But can I interest you in some of the comments that he has made that I find very bizarre? It's almost like, I mean, he's definitely betting on himself, but it's kind of like a business move more than a basketball move. And what do I mean by that? Well, the notification I got from ESPN, not the Matt Ryan thing. If I could find it, that'd be great. I might not be able to find it, but basically, Trae Young was he's happy. Like, he's happy that the Washington Wizards are not very good. He thinks the city itself has got a bunch of basketball fans, and he's ready to build himself up. It seems like this is a brand and business decision only. And I mean only. Listen, Alex Sarr has been a disappointment. To be fair, so is Zachary Ricochet. I know both those guys were young, but I remember when the Wizards drafted Sarr and the Hawks drafted Ricochet, it seemed like a very bad draft at the top. Those guys could develop. I know every long athlete in the draft is supposed to have amazing potential. Those guys seem like the lesser of stars in recent top fives, okay? So my thing is, what is Trae Young going to build? The Wizards historically, whether they're the Bullets or the Wizards, like, shoot them both. Like, they're terrible. And I don't know what changes. I, for one, think that the hate for Trae Young and the stuff that people talk towards him, I think it's weird. I think it's gotten too much against Trae Young. People forget the Atlanta Hawks were not good when he got there. They've always been a middling team that might make the playoffs and might not. He got them to where they were beating the Knicks and in the playoffs. Like, he was making clutch shots. He's one of the only players in the NBA that can average 25 points and almost lead the league in assists. I know Nikola Jokic does it. I get it. I'm just saying, one of like 5 guys in the entire league who can average 25 points and also average like 9 or 10 assists. That is a rare feat in today's NBA. Another thing about Trae Young is his high volume. And I have noticed his three-point percentage is not the greatest. Like, I'm going to go to Basketball Reference and just kind of get, this will be my last thing, because I think this is a business move only. I don't know. I'm sure Trae Young wants to win, but I don't know if like it's going to happen in Washington. He averages per game in his career 35% from three. How about in 10 games, just 30% this year, 34% last year? And the worst part is he takes 8 or 9 a game. And so if you're not going to be like, I know like 34 is not awful. It's also not great. And if you're going to take 9 threes a game, if you are going to be a caution cone on defense, it sucks. Now, I do believe this version of the Atlanta Hawks is not, they're going to peak lesser than where Trae Young was. I think Quinn Snyder's ceiling as a coach is also undermanned. And this whole notion that the Atlanta Hawks are now freeing up cap space, can someone please remind me the last time the Atlanta Hawks attracted a major free agent? I mean, like a big-time star. Don't Josh Smith me or Al Horford. I don't even know how those guys got there. My point is, they don't attract stars. And Trae Young didn't attract stars. I forgot the last guy he reeled in. Was it Porzingis? I forgot. But it's like, that's an issue. Quinn Snyder's is not a great coach. He's a good coach. The roster now is a bunch of young guns who will ultimately be traded. The stars are not coming, so your contracts be darned. I don't know what to think. I think Hawks make the play-in tournament. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs, but that's their ceiling as a first-round exit. So I don't know why the Hawks did not try to make this work with Trae Young. All I know now is he's with the Wizards and seems very happy from a business perspective. He won't say it's only business. It seems like it is. Let's talk Indiana football now. The Hoosiers and Kurt Cignetti and Fernando Mendoza. Oh, man. Listen, as a person with autism, I know this gets thrown around a lot. Fernando Mendoza, he's on the spectrum, for those wondering. I firmly believe that. That being said, I do believe that Indiana is a wagon. And the fact is, Indiana football, to me, is historically great. I don't know what numbers we have to do to get to that. And I'm not just saying it because everyone else is saying it. I firmly believe Indiana's going to go down as one of the best college football teams of all time. And I think I think easing past Penn State is scary, but they beat Ohio State 13-10 when no one thought they would. They dismantled Oregon. They dismantled Alabama, who was no slouch offensively, for the record. Like, Ty Simpson was lighting up Georgia at some parts this year. He was awful against Indiana's defense. Oregon had been competitive. Dan Lanning, people want to pretend that he's a bad big game coach. On the contrary, Dan Lanning, I remember very well when people thought Colorado had a chance and Oregon stomped them out and choked them the entire game. Oregon is beating teams you wouldn't think they should. Like, I think Indiana is just that freaking good. Now, do I think it started bad early? Yes, it was 7-7 and things went to hell. But I don't think Oregon was a bad team. And Indiana made them look silly. Like, Fernando Mendoza is not even passing for 300 yards in most of these games. Like, Dante Moore this season had more passing yards than Fernando Mendoza. But boy, Fernando Mendoza is an efficient little dude. Oh, big dude. He also is, to me, deserving of a number one pick in the NFL draft. I don't know if he's going to be the fastest guy. I don't know if he'll have the strongest arm. He is consistent, and he can be electric if he has to. I don't think the ceiling is massive, but it seems to me his mindset is good. It also seems to me that he's good enough raw to start day one. I'm on the Fernando Mendoza train. That being said, can Miami stop them? The recipe for success for Miami is play, like, hog the ball for 45 minutes or 40. I don't see a scenario where Miami and Indiana are like 35-25 or like 30-30 in the time of possession. I don't see a scenario where Indiana loses that game. I think Indiana can play about 5 different ways. I think they can get turnovers. I think they can play the defensive game, see 13-10 against Ohio State. I think they can do all of it. And I'm going to be honest, folks, on mybookie.ag right now, promo code 12OZ Sports, I'm checking the lines again here, but I believe it was like 7.5. Folks, I'm going to be honest. I don't think I think you're going to get no better value than now. I'm trying to get to it. I don't know why it's like not helping me here. There it is. 7.5. That's minus 110. I think that thing might creep up to 10. And I still like it at 10. Carson Beck makes brutal mistakes in games. There's a reason he's been in college for 35 years. I think Miami is less physical. I think they make more mistakes. I think Fernando Mendoza is better than Carson Beck. Everything about Indiana is better. And I'm telling you right now, Miami's going to lose their cool. Carson Beck will make mistakes and not be able to throw them back in the game. And I do believe Indiana's going to control the pace. I think Indiana's going to destroy them in epic fashion in Hard Rock Stadium. And while I have to personally admit my bias, because I actually do not think that the Miami Hurricanes act very smartly. I think they act like an easy team to root against. And also, do folks remember how bad the ACC was? Georgia Tech was the cream of the crop until Miami, with those 2 god-awful losses, snuck in because Georgia Tech failed late. Clemson was awful. Somehow Florida State beat Bama, and then they were awful. I'm telling you right now, my ACC Big Ten is going to go down in history as a horrible championship. I'm calling it now. Indiana will beat the crap, wipe the floor, dust the whole building of Hard Rock. Miami fans might leave early. I'm telling you now, this Indiana team is ridiculous. And the fact you can bet them at minus 7.5 is criminal. I'm telling you now, we should all be arrested for wagering anything on this game. If you think Miami keeps it close, I honestly question if you've watched a college football game all year. Because for the first time in a while, I watched college football like crazy this year, and Indiana is ridiculous. There is little to no scenarios where Miami wins that game. I have not been this confident in a national championship in a very long time. Like since Notre Dame played Alabama. Remember when people thought Manti Te'o and Notre Dame was going to... And I told people, SEC against Notre Dame is a very bad news. This feels very similar. I think Miami's better than that Notre Dame team was. I'm telling you now. I don't know if it'll be 59-20. I think you're looking at like 35 to like 10. I do not think Miami can hang. And I think that's fair to say. Again, if you have watched both these teams this year and both conferences, you will feel the same. They are not comparable. I do not see a scenario Miami keeps this within 7. By the time the third quarter is finished, this game will be finished as well. And unlike the Ole Miss Georgia game, which ended 3 times, you might be able to wrap this one up with 5 minutes left in the game. I'm telling you now, Indiana minus 7.5 is criminal. Hoosiers are way better than that. Mendoza and Signetti to the moon. When I come back to this show, I'm going to talk about my Indianapolis Colts in the future after keeping Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. Also, the harsh reality that faces Daniel Jones moving forward. We'll also talk about Matt Ryan being named the president of football for the Atlanta Falcons, and also stay tuned for my Super Bowl prediction and why I do the only Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching Mike Said It First. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening. You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Mike Said It First live here on North American Talk Radio via X and YouTube. We appreciate you for tuning in. I'm trying to figure out why something is not working here. I wanted a video to play. It suddenly crashed. That is very, very, very odd. It was a Daily Dive marathon, which somehow has decided to just not exist, which is fine. It is what it is. I just have to do some cleanup duty. This is so weird. Like, I'm clicking it and like it doesn't. It's so weird. Oh well, that's fine. I'm just, for those wondering about the Daily Dive Marathon, it doesn't make sense. All right, presented by the natalkradio.com event tickets tab. Head over to the North American Talk Radio website and click that today. It takes you straight to Vivid Seats where you can check out local events in your area. I'm sorry, this has flustered me for some reason. All right, folks. Now let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts and their future. Guys, I'm going to be honest. I have been a Colts fan since like 2007-ish when Peyton Manning played. I remember like they beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And I remember they beat the Bears, even though Devin has to return the kickoff to open the game. But here's my thing. I can put bias aside. And I believe, because I like my teams, I'm just not like super crazy. Like, it won't affect me emotionally. Like, I'll live with it like 30 minutes later. Like, I don't care. So, it perplexes me when the Indianapolis Colts fans are so freaking weird. Like, Anthony Richardson was like barely played any college, but can make amazing throws. And I remember Colts fans just blaming him for everything. I remember Andrew Luck getting crucified for retiring because we decided to draft a quarterback before we built up our O-line, literally making his spleen bleed internally. Notice how hard that is to do? I remember fans of this team just hating Daniel Jones because everyone else told them to. Like, we have such fair-weather, boring, god-awful fans. I'm surprised at the Hoosiers and the Pacers and the Fever League. Oh, this great fan base. Y'all are so full of crap. They are one of the most fair-weather fan bases. It's like, they're not as bad as the Jaguars, but people like Jaguars fans don't exist. Indiana fans only exist when the teams are good. There's very rarely any Indiana fans just popping off until the team has a slight bit of expectations. So Daniel Jones this year was really good for this team. Way better than most of you said he would be. But he sucks. NFL figured him out. Screw his Achilles. Like, what? And then you had, they thought the team was going to be bad too. The team started 8-2. Ho-hum, who cares, right? No big deal. Phillip Rivers was not good. Like, he was horrible when he came back. He threw pillows and air, like hospital balls, every game he played. Believe it to Colts fans, such a great story. Really? He threw interceptions in 3 consecutive games to ruin all momentum. And now all I hear about is Shane Steichen's a bad coach and Chris Ballard's a bad GM. Guys, have you seen their resumes? The only thing Chris Ballard has gotten wrong has been the quarterback. And I don't even know if that's their core issue. Matt Ryan did not pan out. Phillip Rivers 1.0 and 2.0 did not pan out. Anthony Richardson, literally his agent told Adam Schefter he doesn't want to be with the Colts anymore. So he lost a starting job. He's a lazy schmuck, and yet Colts fans blame the GM and the coach. I'm sorry. Didn't Shane Steichen make Daniel Jones look pretty stinking good? Didn't Chris Ballard draft a bunch of late round guys that are great? Didn't Chris Ballard also bring in Daniel Jones? Didn't Chris Ballard also trade away Adonai Mitchell when he cost us games? Didn't Chris Ballard trade for Sauce Gardner? I'm sure Chris Ballard is also supposed to know that Daniel Jones and Sauce will miss extended time, or that multiple offensive linemen will. Like, what are we doing? How are you guys missing this stuff? That's why I've always said the hardcore fans of the NFL are pure meatheads. They have no idea what they're talking about, and it blows my mind. Like, honestly, what is going on here? Do you guys watch any games? Do you pay attention to what you see on social media? There's no way you do. Because you have hated this team for nothing. Injuries happen. But key injuries to key players, you can't see that coming, man. So stop with this, fire this guy. It's stupid, man. We were competitive. And we were a very good football team until the injuries fell off the rails. Like, come on, man. Which also leads me to this. Most of you who know my show know that I'm a Daniel Jones fan. I love Daniel Jones. I thought the hate he received before the NFL draft was completely unwarranted. When he came to the Indianapolis Colts, I was like, wow, what a great guy to have on our team. When he became a starter, I didn't even buy it yet until Anthony Richardson said what he did, and they released that garbage about why the team was the reason why he was lazy. Daniel Jones balled out, man. But now, he's got an Achilles injury. And I know Daniel Jones is younger than Kirk Cousins and younger than Aaron Rodgers. But there is a theory that even though athletes can come back from an Achilles injury after a year, the theory is that it takes 2 years to really recover and trust yourself again. Even with modern technology and medicine. Folks, I don't think Daniel Jones is ever getting this opportunity again. I'm scared for his future because it's a shame that this happened to him. All those years of carrying the Giants around, when Saquon Barkley was god-awful, like no one helped him. Receivers were terrible. Defense was not great. Offensive line was piss poor. He put in the work, never said anything. And it ends with this. And I hate it for him. But that's sports. Because when you put your body on the line, when you sacrifice 365 days a year, when you sacrifice a family and friends, sometimes this happens. And I hate it. So for the first time in my history, and this has been a long time, I'm off the Daniel Jones bandwagon because of injury. I don't see a scenario where he ever gets a chance to be a starting quarterback again. He was so good. And it's almost like, I don't know why I get emotional. Like, I have been going to bat for this guy for years because I knew he was better than what people gave him credit for. And he was. But it ain't good enough, man. And not only that, it just, like, what am I supposed to do? So that's the reality. I am now off the Daniel Jones bandwagon. So you got to worry about me anymore. That's the reality. That hurt, actually. Matt Ryan has been named president of football for the Atlanta Falcons. And I want to give a little bit of credit here to Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan takes a lot of crap as well. And the only reason he does so is because he played for the Falcons. Falcons fans are not as hardcore as Bulldogs fans, thank God. But this one hurts as well, because he was the first thing on the Instagram of this photo was 28-3, if you know, you know. And while I think that person who said that is a loser, it's just the story of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, to me, is a Hall of Famer. What? I don't know. Like, he won an MVP and did everything he could to win a Super Bowl. I mean, that throw to Julio Jones, if the Patriots don't come back, my God. This guy is now the third quarterback to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Eli did it twice. Nick Foles did it. Matt Ryan would have been the best one. And all he does is get hate. I think he's always been a very good quarterback. I think he's way better than Phillip Rivers, way better than Eli Manning. But people will swear up and down he's not as good. It's a shame. It really is. So shout out to Matt Ryan. And I said that before he was a Colts quarterback, by the way. I really liked Matt Ryan. So sad for him. All right, now let's get to this. My Super Bowl prediction. Now, who's going to win their first one? Bills, Panthers, Texans, Jaguars, Chargers. Of that list, Bills and Jaguars. The unfortunate thing is that the Jaguars and Bills play this weekend. And that, to me, is one of the hardest parts of the brackets. There is a bracket that you can find on NA Talk Radio via Twitter. I'm trying to see if you can beat us. There's no giveaway, but it's still fun. Bragging rights. Basically, it's a bracket for the playoffs. It locks in 56 minutes, for crying out loud. I have got the Texans to beat the Steelers, the Jaguars to beat the Bills tomorrow, the Patriots to beat the Chargers. I've got the Rams to beat the Panthers, the Eagles to beat the 49ers, and the Packers to beat the Bears. I believe the Broncos will beat the Texans in round 2. I think the Jaguars upseed the Patriots. I think Seahawks beat the Packers. And I think the Rams beat the Eagles, the defending champions. I think Jaguars then beat the Broncos again. I think the Rams beat the Seahawks. And I've got the Los Angeles Rams as my Super Bowl winner in Santa Clara. I think 546 points will be scored in 13 playoff games. That's a tiebreaker, by the way. I think it's like 40 or 41 points a game, something in those lines. But yeah, I think Rams win it. For the Broncos, I don't trust Bo Nix. I think Broncos start slow way too many times. For the Bills, Sean McDermott. I mean, come on, dude. I like Josh Allen, but he's going to try to do too much. I think the Seahawks, I love Sam Darnold. I think Darnold plays well, but I think the Rams are going to pop them. I think the Steelers are a fun story, but I think Texans defense will overwhelm them. I think Patriots are not good enough, even though I do like Drake May. I don't think their year is this year. I think what Liam Cohen has done with this Jaguars team is nothing short of spectacular. Trevor Lawrence has been balling, and the way the Jaguars made the Super Bowl, they win this game. I don't see them losing to the Patriots or the Broncos. I'm more concerned about the Bills tomorrow at 1 o'clock. But again, give me the Rams over the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. And by the way, can you imagine if Matthew Stafford somehow, some way, wins a second ring with the Rams? See, so many people thought one ring and done. If the Rams pull this off, they demolished the Lions in that trade. Because Jared Goff is awful. Well, he's not. He's good. He will never be great. He scored 3 points against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. He single-handedly lost a game that mattered in the regular season this year. I think the Lions are going to reap those terrible rewards for a long time. When I come back to the show, I'm going to talk about why I talk about the National Lacrosse League every day. And what got me thinking about it was Dane Dobie's retirement. I'll explain next.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening. You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
All right, folks, one last segment here on Mike's It First. Reminder tonight at 6:45 Eastern is a watch party, an NLL watch party with some guests. Myself, Cable Guy, and Captain, who will be live in Oshawa. And then we'll have two special guests join as well, maybe more, we'll see. This show has been presented by the natalkradio.com. Click the event tickets tab. Head over there. There's also a link in the description for it as well. North American Talk Radio's website takes you straight to Vivid Seats. And once you're there, you can search for your favorite or local team or just events happening in your area and get tickets. It just makes us the middleman. We appreciate you. I do a show called Daily Dive. I'm sure everyone that watches this probably already knows that, considering like that's where you're coming from. And I'm going to be honest, folks. Sometimes I bring it on myself. And I can admit that I've had some takes that are controversial. Like Jeff Teets is not the best player in the world. That Lyle Thompson has not been even that good since I started my show 4 years ago. That the Buffalo Bills guarding in the crease was an advantage. That the Desert Dogs should have started Caleb Connor to start the season. And I know those takes are hard to say. I have also said, because I know that Six Nations, like God bless them, but they pay people more than other teams do so they can kind of waltz to a man cup. And I know that fired people up. Like, I'm sorry. That's what happens. I've said a lot of things. I reported news that ended up happening. My one big miss was Rochester going to Grand Rapids. I'm glad they stayed. And I was wrong. But at some point, we have to realize why I do this. Because recently, and I'll bring this garbage up again, I thought it was a little bit unwise to tell teams to boycott the Olympics, to tell countries to boycott the LA 2028 Olympics under the notion that if Haudenosaunee is not allowed. I've said it, and I'll make this abundantly clear again. We cannot control that. Neither can those countries. If Haudenosaunee is not allowed, we must move forward. Because that is what we all have fought for years. Many of you, if not most of you, way longer than I have. But I can tell you now, the single way to shoot yourself in the foot is to then say, no, we're not playing because y'all won't let Haudenosaunee in. And folks, again, I want them to be in it. But if they're not, I'm not going to call for us to stunt the growth of the sport. And while people may not like that, I say I don't care. I'm a person from Savannah, Georgia area. Well, I live in Guyton. I was born in Virginia, believe it or not. And I'm going to be honest, folks. People down here view lacrosse as a broccoli head, rich white kid sport. That's what that is. There's nothing you can do to stop that until the sport gets more eyeballs. So before you go saying, what did you call it, guys? I'm telling you now, everybody south, especially in the South here, and not just Georgia, but people in the South, lacrosse is a broccoli-haired, white, rich kid sport that is played on a soccer field and is kind of cool. And that's kind of how I viewed it. I was like, oh yeah, you're probably right. Until I learned. But this is not about lacrosse or how to grow it. This is why I talked the NLL. Yesterday, or last night's game, before Calgary found a way to force overtime against Vancouver, they retired. Well, they honored Dane Dobie in the rafters. I'm not sure what they exactly did, but they acknowledged him in their rafters, okay? And it occurred to me in that moment, I'm not going to lie, I do not cry over sports often, if maybe ever. But after all I've talked about and after all the vitriol I've received in the last 4 years, just doing Daily Dive, for saying things that everyone else is uncomfortable to say. And not just a sports takes, but other things as well. I felt like I missed an entire era of a sport that I love because it was poorly marketed. And I missed Dane Dobie scoring 1,000 points and getting 500 goals. I missed that. Why? Because people didn't want to show it to other ones. It was, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just oh, well, we can gatekeep a sport and be fine with it. I disagree with that. And it bothers me. My words were, moments like this get me emotional. I missed an epic era all because the NLL was not marketed well. I do a daily show for the future generation of sports fans so that we can appreciate Jeff Teets, Connor Fields, Dane Smith, and many others. And that we remember every moment just like other sports fans get to. Thank you, Dane Dobie and others who have sacrificed these guys don't make money. So shout out to all the ones before us who have been doing this as a side job. This is the 60s NBA. This is everything before media rights, but for the NLL. It's sad. But I do it because I know what entertains me, and I know what other people will like as well. And I'm going to continue to fight. I'm not going to sit here and back down because a few people might think that I don't like a certain group of people, which is false. Because they think I'm negative. I do negative things, or I say things that are perceived as negative, because if those things are not called out, they will never get fixed. And I urge people, especially NLL fans who may not like me, to ask yourselves 2 questions. One, just a little pat on the back here. Did the NLL do a halftime show in week 1 that involved a certain hat company called The Game? Did they? No, they didn't? Okay, just wondering. Because I, after being reminded about it privately, went on Twitter and blasted the NLL for dropping that ball. That was a sponsorship that they announced. And I called it out. The next week, they started doing it. But the other thing I'll ask you is this, and this is basic and simple, but it must be said. Of your favorite media members, or of media members that you see, I know a lot of them like to bring me down. Quite a few of them actually help me out. How many of them do a daily show? A daily lacrosse talk show? How many? How many not only do a daily lacrosse talk show, it's me, but on top of that, don't get paid for it? How many go every day at 10 o'clock a.m. and talk about the sport of box lacrosse because they care? How many? How many would do it for free? I am on my 4th year because I care so much. Yeah, do I hope to make money? Yeah, one day. But I've been podcasting for 9 years. I'm not stopping now. So I use this moment to let you know why I do what I do. I don't hate anybody. I'm actually a goofball in real life. But I refuse to continue to act like what I do is not valuable. I wanted to grow so much because we all benefit. That includes sports fans as viewers, like myself and others who don't do a podcast. That includes players, coaches, front office, even those crappy owners, even other media people. We all benefit. So next time you want to take personal shots or tell me why I hate certain people or why I'm Mr. Negative or how I'm just a joke and I never played, remind yourself who does this and not just does it, but does it for nothing. And to that I say, you're welcome. Because no one is doing this. And my goal is one day to be the first of my kind and not just the only. I am right now, the bio of our Twitter and every social media account is the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. How about changing that to the first? Because that means others will do it. And we're all going to benefit the more we do it. And I know I am not going to single-handedly move the needle. But I'm helping it. I will admit I'm helping it. My social media has gotten so much more active with lacrosse fans since I started this. And that goes for everyone that starts a podcast or media to talk about this. That includes Adam Levy. That includes Pat Gregoire. That includes others like Loose Mesh, who doesn't even like me. That includes Graham Peru, who doesn't even like me. All of us help. So why not have conversations instead of personally attacking people? How's that? Because one day, the next generation may not notice, but they might thank us for our own little ways of paving and pioneering what's talked about. Because when this thing explodes, I want us all to be there and be happy we broke through. This has been Mike's at It First. Daily Dive will return Monday at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern right here on this channel. And the watch party begins for members only tonight at 6:45 Eastern. Y'all have fun and stay safe. I am Michael Karvelis saying have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.